friends, family, community, people watching out for each other, people watching out for customers, looking out for the best in everyone. And it's not hard to find the best in everyone when everybody's doing it. Employees, their value and what they mean to us here at Barber Ford, the fact that they would invest that much of their life and their time in Barber Ford just goes to show how much they're engaged in not only what we do, but why we do it. Our core values, our community impact, our community involvement.
In 2016, we were contacted by Barber Ford to find out how they could better support members in our community through the American Cancer Society and through a one-of-a-kind give back program. We have been honored to receive the largest gift that anyone has ever donated to the American Cancer Society from Barber Ford.
Kids Food Basket is a community-based organization that is committed to attacking childhood hunger. We are so grateful for the support of Barber Ford in helping us to attack childhood hunger. They have been an amazing partner, helping by providing food donations, financial donations, and importantly also time. Barber Ford employees come and spend time to help us prepare the meals that we give these children for the nourishment that they need.
Giving back to different organizations throughout the community, it's something where it means a lot to us when we see employees that we work with every day go to the next level as far as their giving back. It's not just about the dealership, but it's about the employees giving back as well. We like, as a dealership, that's one of our core values as far as responsible financial success and giving back, but we can't do that unless the employees have bought into that 100%. And when they see that they're giving back, it's a great feeling. Everybody comes back and it's all different departments and it's everybody doing it together, so they have fun, but they're leaving an impact somewhere, and that's really neat to see.
The last great Coliseum, Thunder Valley, or better yet, fighter jets in a cereal bowl. Call it what you want, it's Bristol, baby. High banks, high speeds, short tempers is the name of the game at this racetrack. The Dreamer Racing Series hits to the high banks of Bristol for their throwback night, 90s night in Tennessee, for 175 laps of action on what will be the final ever broadcast in the channel history of PTR TV, and we are proud to bring it to you tonight. It is going to be a 3-person booth with a couple old timers and the newbie. It's going to be myself, Corey Silva. We have Marshall Crocker, and of course, channel founder back in the day, Brandon Krutz. Shout out to our old channel, our channel sponsors, Track Cams for Gourmets, Fame Motorsports, and ATVO for helping with the overlays. So guys, first off, final time we're going to get to do this, so we want to do it right and have a great race. Hopefully they do provide that for us here at the short track.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey, and I expect nothing less out of these guys here with DRS tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Some hard-nosed short-track racing action, but the high banks of Bristol always makes things interesting.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an absolutely chaotic race if I had to guess. I mean, just looking at qualifying, guys are already, getting sideways. Such a difficult track with how the banking is set up and, so much lap traffic. It's just going to be insane overall, and I can't wait.
Yes, it is. And again, just the name of the game here at Bristol as qualifying still underway. I mean, we're most used to seeing them run around the top of the track here at Bristol, but focusing on Brent Keith in the 32. He's running a mid-low line. Then we're looking here at Brandon Holder. Again, throwback night, different schemes. You can see the number 5, the Alan Kowicki-esque scheme on the number 5 machine. There he was, middle of the track. Now he's up high on the track, so it will be interesting, again, with the new truck build, with the new spec engine package, which changes the power band in the gears in these machines, as to what groove will persevere and be the best here at Bristol tonight.
Yeah, absolutely it will, and this is going to be so much of a momentum-based race. These guys just going to have to roll these corners, try to keep it nice and smooth, try not to make any mistakes, otherwise you're going to end up losing a bunch of spots where I'd expect track position's going to be a little bit tougher to gain back tonight as it would with the old package on these trucks.
Oh, it will for sure, and I think a big part of that will come down, as you said, to keeping it clean and making sure you just ease off the gas a little bit, make sure you're cleaning all the corners on your exits. And if you get around here, it's such a tight bank track. Like, there's not a lot of space to go if you do get in an incident. With so many cars, it's such a small half-mile track, and any incident could be absolutely brutal for any involved.
And just to allude quickly to the point standings, we talked about the driver standings, and it is rather tight at the top. Brandon Holder up by 3 over Robbie Audi, Ryan Campbell, Rob Slider, and Tyler King, the top 5. Note that Robbie Audi, his 2 wins this season have come on short tracks, USA and 5 flag, so worth noting that here as we head to 1 here tonight. And leading the team standings as the team that Brandon Holder does drive for, Glove Box Racing, leading the team standings by 31 over TI Racing. TI Racing's best driver, take a guess at who it is. It's Robbie Audi. So those guys are leading their teams and leading the individual driver standings down, which will I'm sure lead to a very exciting conclusion to what will be the Dreamer Racing Series season. But these guys are lined up on the grid, so we got to give it to you, the PTR TV, for the final time, the starting lineup here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. On the pole here tonight with a lap time of 14.873 seconds. It's going to be Alex McCullum. We know how quick that driver is. Alex McCullum, let's see if he can carry through with it here tonight. Wade Husted on the outside of the front row. We have Brandon Holder in 3rd, Devin Morgan in 4th, Gabe Wood in 5th, Brent Keith rolling off in the 6th spot, and then 7th and 8th we have Ryan Matthews and Connor Okrezik.
Curry Snelson starting in that 9th position. 10th is going to be Ryan Campbell. Robbie Audi in that 44 machine starting 11th. Brad Neer going to be starting 12th. 13th is James Milbachler. Justin Schwingle starting in the 14th position. Ryan Doucette starting 15th. And rounding out the top 16 is going to be John Houston. Marshall?
But in 17th position, we got Rob Slider, one of the 2 sliders. We got Grant Brown starting in 18th. The other slider right behind him on that inside row in 19th. Blake Neer starting in 20th. Chris Canfield starting in the 21st position. Dylan Parker will start 22nd. Chris Stewart starting 23rd. Doug Lemon starting 24th. To finish off the field, we got Doc Stout and Damaris Hickenbottom in that second to last row. And then Tyler King and Frank Morales rounding out the field.
So a 28 truck grid, which I do believe is potentially the biggest one we've had this season. So having the biggest grid we've had this season on one of the smaller tracks in the service, one of the fastest, most narrow tracks in the service. I mean, that leads to be what is going to be an interesting situation. Let's talk about the weather quickly here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You can see the oval shape of the track slightly off. It's not perfectly symmetrical, much to people's surprise, but it's half-mile track, 81 in the on the track, 82 in the air. Minimal wind conditions here tonight, and then we have our Fame Motorsports keys to the race. You got to stay off the wall. If you're running up high, you got to stay off of that wall because obviously damage and momentum lost there. Maximize your corner exit speed. Try to get the run down the straightaways and make the dive off into the corners. And again, tempers, always a situation here at the short tracks.
Absolutely, Corey. So these guys coming around. Stars and Cars of the Dreamer Racing Series, 28 trucks deep on the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway, Bristol, Tennessee. These guys are stacked up, doubled up, and about ready to go racing here. They're going to bring them around for one more time. It's going to be Alex McCullum leading these guys to the green flag, and Wade Hustad on the outside of him in that 16 machine. So pace car is going to make its way in as soon as we clear the back straightaway here. And guys, I think this is going to be quite the race here for these guys. Turn 1 is where they're going to have to watch out. 28 trucks going in there this time by pace car. Is going to clear the 10, is going to lead them to the green flag. Ladies and gentlemen, race fans, it's time to wind them up. Let them loose. Green flag is in the air.
Yes, it is. And a big checkup from the 16 on the top of the track. Wade Houston did not get up to speed. A little bit of contact from the 12 of Devin Morgan. That will check him up as they do navigate through the field, trying to see if everybody does manage to get through cleanly for lap number 1. Does appear as such as Alex McCullum. Not much of a surprise. He will lead the first lap.
Yeah, so far so good. Going back to about the 6th.
Oh, huge wreck.
Gabe Wood hard into the outside wall. They're piling in. Waffle House down there out of turn number 2, battered, smothered, and covered. Gabe Wood, the 00 machine, was the first truck to go around.
Yeah, we'll try to go back on to the replay and establish what did cause that incident.
The 00 all by himself got loose down at a corner number 2 and ended up being collected by that 32 machine and hard up to the outside wall, and they all stacked in.
Loose on entry and just a hard right-hand hook into the fence, and that Kirkwood transportation machine will not be in the remainder of the race. So our first caution out on lap number 3.
I'll tell you, the 44 Rabbiati just nearly escaped disaster there. A little bit of contact with Wood up high, but other than that, he should be all right.
Or you'll remember last week that great save by Gabriel Wood. I guess the lightning doesn't strike twice in this situation, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just and we just go back to what has happened since the most recent update to the iRacing service, perhaps early June, I believe it was, where these trucks are just loose by default, and I'm not sure because, well, I haven't driven in an open setup race with a custom setup in quite some time. Not sure how much of that you can natively dial out or how much of it is just based on how these trucks are now, but these trucks are just loose everywhere you go, and you're really, even though you're not going as fast with the gear ratios we have now, you're just constantly on the wheel, and just you have to be on it and ready to save that truck at all times.
Yeah, so definitely interesting to wheel these things around, and I haven't had the opportunity to test these things on a track such as Bristol, with only being a half mile. But there's one thing we got to remember at this place: half mile, but they're still reaching some serious speeds around this place, and especially off the banking where they were in turn number 2, easy enough to get these things a little bit squirrely.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll get maybe an onboard of somebody, but just off of instinct, and I'd have to imagine we're easily topping 140 miles an hour here heading into the corners, if not perhaps faster than that. I want to say 24 to 30 degrees of progressive banking we have here on iRacing. I know that is slightly different in the real world these days, but again, high speeds, high banks here at Bristol, so I mean, everything happens in a flash. I mean, one of the few tracks that you go to where you're going so fast that a lot of times you don't even know where you are on the track, whether you're on the front stretch or the back stretch.
Absolutely. So, nevertheless, these guys will get stacked up, doubled up, and White flag at the stand that time by 1 to go. These guys will go green next time around.
And we saw the 10 get the jump that, well, we anticipate him usually getting, me in the control truck. The 16, I'm not sure if he missed a shift or what, but did not get going very well, caused the 12 to back up into him. So the 12 will have the blessing of being to the inside. It'll be points leader Brandon Holder for Glove Box Racing to the outside. So we'll come through 3 and 4 and get him going for a second time tonight.
So these guys are going to come down at a turn number 4 once again. Front row has not changed. Alex McCollum already on the throttle. Green flag is in the air. What a jump for that 10 machine.
And that's the 12 of Devin Morgan. He's going to sail it on in there in a corner number 2. And he's going to clear up in front of the 6 of Hustad, who did get some sparks up, contact
Trouble
with the outside wall.
Straightaway. Caution flag is in the air.
Oh, and that's the big one. The 98, the 2, the 95, the 13. All having problems here on the restart.
Looks like the 13 may have been the first one to go around.
Well, 13 up into the 42 as they were 3 wide off of 2. And then just the nature of Bristol. You see the 13 hugging the bottom. 2 trucks to the outside. I don't think the 13 knew they were 3 wide up there. And just the nature of Bristol, once there's a wreck in front of you, nearly impossible to find a way through it. 95 there. I think Grant Brown, I want to go on board with him. He was snaking through that. See if he got through it. Very minimal contact, but that could have been a lot worse. He came to nearly a dead stop before getting through that wreck with some minimal front end damage. But and 10 laps in and already on our second yellow flag of the evening.
So, believe it or not, Corey, we were under red flag for about, all of about 10-20 seconds or so, as the wreck was still trying to clear out of quarter number 3, so...
Brandon, I'm going to go back a long time, back to 2017 right now, where we had a race that had a red flag situation.
Yes.
And
Yes,
you made me put a red flag into the overlays, and I have never used it. So for the first time, even though it's not relevant, I just want to use it. Oh, and it doesn't even work, so I didn't even...
Oh.
Well then.
Well, that's a good thing we never had to use it.
Yeah, in our most recent overlay conversion, I did not accommodate that in there. So
Corey, I tell you to go fix it, but I don't think it'll do anything for us at this point in
actually,
PCR TV stage.
I think it'll work if I switch it under green flag. The way that we have our new fancy minimized caution ticker, I didn't code the red flag to work in that, so I will bring it up just for pure nostalgia at some point in the broadcast.
Bristol Motor Speedway, you never know what can happen, so
You know what? There it is! PTR TV under red flag conditions.
as Corey fiddles with the overlays under this yellow flag period.
It is a red flag. It was a red flag. It could have been a red flag. So
well, it was for all of about 5 seconds.
Yes, so we can say in PTR TV history, monumental moments, we used the red flag.
I'm excited to have been here for that. That was pretty exciting.
Yes. The drama, the anticipation, the color change.
It is.
Speaking of color changes, the lights on the pace car no longer have color because they have turned off, and we are getting ready for a restart.
Good transition, Corey. Marshall, take him away for this restart.
Yes, indeed, gentlemen, and Alex McCollum in his 3rd start of the race. I mean, he's been an absolute restart phenom these last few races. He has not made a mistake once, but to his outside, Devin Morgan's had a pretty good jump in every restart today, always giving a bump to the guy in front of him. So maybe he's the one, now that Wade Hustad has moved back a spot, maybe he's the one that'll make the pass here. The pace car will dive off into pit road. McCollum goes very early, green flag back at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Another really good jump by that 10 machine. Once again, Alex McCollum's going to come out with a really good lead out of corner number 2. And, oh, watch out. Devin Morgan's going to be up to the outside while he hangs it onto it. Brandon Holder is going to be right up his back bumper now.
Here we come into corner number 3, taking yet another lap, and I think we're going to be under caution once more. Yes, we are.
A 44, Rabiati
And
around
that's a
down
big,
out
and
of.
that is a big one.
Oh, another Bristol big one back here. 74 was the first one to go around, it looks like.
Perry Snell.
Actually, it looks like maybe 2 separate incidents here.
We're watching the 74 right now, and to the bottom of the track. Actually, just in front, I see the 41 kicking up sparks. 77 and the 40, 77, 74, 23 gets into him. Rabiati goes around, and yeah, this race not going off the way I think any of us hoped it did, but
I just want to point out, John Houston in that 42 machine, I thought that there was another wreck behind these guys, but he had a monstrous save going down into corner number 3, and I give a round of applause to him in that 42 machine.
yeah, he did, and he has cracked the top 10 in that number 42 machine. So he will do the best he can to continue his charge to the front of the field, but again, this race marred by the caution flag thus far. So, well, thus far on lap number 17.
Yeah, we knew we'd have a chaotic race ahead of us, but I don't know if any of us expected 3 cautions in 15 very short laps here at Bristol, most of which have been under caution. But yeah, I mean, McCollum we saw in that restart, he went 1 lap and just took off from Morgan. I mean, the momentum and is going to play a big part in this race, but in terms of just his line on his own, McCollum seems to be once again almost untouchable.
Yeah, but again, just something that we haven't had the opportunity to have yet. We haven't had the opportunity to have the long run, and I mean, McCollum, he's just been one of those drivers over the course of the season where the short run, long run, he's just good everywhere and under every circumstance. Some drivers, you know, are kind of prone to be better on one side of the spectrum or the other, but the Tenda seems to have the complete package. But there are some quick drivers in the field, and I'd have to imagine that somebody will, at least maybe on the short run, be able to put up a fight. But interesting to look up Rabiati right now, exiting the pits. You can see that number 44 machine, significant right rear damage. But again, being at a short track, right rear damage, I mean, as long as the thing is towing properly, it's not, you know, steering out of whack, I don't think that damage is going to be overly catastrophic for him.
No, I don't think it'll be too bad, and
as he does come in the pits for more repairs. But the thing about Bristol and short tracks, you can't get much repair done under caution. The pace laps are so short here, only about 45 seconds. So, I mean, realistically, getting into the pit, getting out of the pit, maybe 20 seconds, 15 seconds of damage per pit stop is all that you really can get accomplished.
would like to quickly point out that Len Jameson, Gabe Wood, Doug Lemons, and Perry Snelson all took it behind the wall and are done for the night. Corey, take us away for this next restart.
Yeah, we will try it for what I believe to be a 4th time if you include the initial start in the race. The 10 has gotten the jump every time. Will the 12 be able to time it? Will Brandon Holder be able to take advantage of any situation? We'll find out together as pace car comes off a 4. Safety of pit road, it does enter. On the loud pedal is the 10, and I'll tell you, Devin Morgan was ready for that one.
Yes, he was. The strategy from Alex McCullum didn't quite pan out that time. It'll still jump out to a lead. Devin Morgan is hanging right with him down at corner number 3, though. He's going to try the low side.
Now, we have seen that the low side at Bristol has worked better in recent
he got
builds.
The outside wall. He hangs on to it.
He's going to wash up the track into the 16. Contact from the back of Wade Houston into the back bumper of the 12. But watch out, Milbachler, the 61, right behind this, and they're side by side behind him.
Not so clean, but we stay green. The 41 machine down low. Now he's going to fall back. Looks like the 51 machine and him are going to stay side by side. Brandon Holder lurking back there now also.
41 all the way to the inside. That's Connor Ozarek. He went down to the apron as he got loose, but did manage to hang on to the vehicle, which is the most important part. He will get kind of freight trained on the outside right now. There goes the 42 of John Houston, as we just talked about on the restart. But Again,
And big wiggle by the 16 machine. Wade used that up front, and he got up to the outside wall. Probably the only thing that saved him, and now he's going to jump back down low underneath the 61 machine.
Yeah, Wade Hustad making some big moves here, but it feels like he always just makes these tiny little hits off the wall that, steal all his momentum. And now it was Millblockler getting by him, Holder before, and he's quick.
Oh boy, contact between Millblockler and the Ryan Matthews in the 51 machine.
The 16 was taking a look underneath the 51, but he got back in line because he didn't want to get freight trained on the inside. But now he's going to look to the inside once again, and just no merit to the move. Maybe waiting for the 51 to make some contact with the wall. He did not make it, so he will fall back in line. The Conga lane around the top of the track, which was kind of what we expected here at Bristol as the field does thin out and starts to spread out. We show you the leader, who has already pulled away by nearly a second, McCollum over Morgan.
One thing I'd like to point out is just how much these trucks are moving around through the corners here. Is these guys are sawing at these steering wheels to try to keep these things straight, just really loose, as I think Corey put it, or maybe it was mine, loosey-goosey, slippy-slidey down through these corners here at Bristol.
That's definitely yours. I wouldn't say that.
That was definitely mine.
We got a battle for the lead developing here. Devin Morgan is on a tear. He's going to go to the inside again. He's going to go for the pass. He made up almost a second in 2 laps, which at Bristol is no easy feat.
Yeah, that is rather monumental. I'd expect maybe some wall contact from McCollum, but whatever did happen, or the setup maybe going off on the tire situation for the 10, whatever happens, there goes the 10 with the slider. Will we get a crossover by McCollum off of 4? Not quite. Give the lead to the 12.
No, that was a perfectly executed move by the 12. He got up to the outside wall. He's still going to hang on to that lead. That was perfectly executed, and McCollum, just as much momentum as he gained up on the high side for that, just could not quite get back to his rear bumper.
Now, if you're Alex McCollum, did you kind of use the top fuel dragster approach and, get the whole shot, shoot out of a cannon 300 miles an hour, and then put the parachute on? Kind of seems to be what the case is, because you could see that 12, and he may not have got the whole shot, but he is definitely pulling away on the latter end of the strip now, and up by nearly 0.4 of a second, just in even 3 laps.
It looks like McCollum is really starting to struggle on corner entry. I can see that rear end starting to wag around, and that's really not what you want when you're driving one of these trucks, especially on corner entry with the amount of banking that there is riding the high side here. It's really sketchy to drive, and it looks like he's having a really hard time trying to wheel that thing around this place.
Going back a little bit in the pack, we have the 44 Robbiotti into the fence as he was trying to make a move on the 77. So, that negates that move he was trying to make, but there is still a battle just ahead of this. Wade Hustad is falling back as he is in the clutches of Ryan Doucette, who's going to try to sail it in on the inside of the track, and he may clear them. He may clear him indeed. Yes, he will. So move that 77 up to P6. We saw him a couple weeks ago have a slow, methodical charge through the field. He may be duplicating that effort here tonight.
Ryan Doucette, already a winner this season at Michigan. I mean, he had speed at the big tracks, but it looks like he's showing speed tonight, already starting to move up from 15th to 6th in only 38 laps.
Yes, he is, and here's the 16, and maybe losing a spot to the inside. Robbiotti trying to take a gander to the outside of the 16. That move will be successful, and again, kind of tackling a point you just brought up, Brandon, a couple laps ago. These trucks all over the track. I don't really see, even following your leader, Devin Morgan, I really don't see a single driver out there who's showing any kind of comfort, or showing it at least visually, with their trucks right now.
Yeah, for sure. These guys are really trying to saw out these wheels, really trying to keep these trucks straight, as they're proving extremely difficult to drive here on these, I wouldn't call them worn, but I would call them, I guess, worn-in tires, as they've now got heat in them, and these guys really starting to show the struggle of trying to get these things around here.
James Millblockler in the 61. He is very near to making a pass on the 51 of Ryan Matthews. I know that truck. I cannot pinpoint. I know it used to be a first Union car in the Winston Cup Series. God help me as to who it is. But Again, the 90s schemes here tonight for the DRS series in their throwback night in Tennessee. Good to see these schemes. And kind of a side note to this, there was a donation required to run the throwback scheme, and that donation went right to the Forgotten Eagles of Michigan, a race that was sponsored a couple weeks ago, as here goes the 61 to the inside. So all the money donated by drivers who did wish to run throwback schemes going to help vets in need in the state of Michigan. So again, good needs, good causes being supported by the series.
Absolutely, it is. DRS always look out for everybody.
But talking about your, what did I say? Talking about your leader, try to force a segue that wasn't even there. But Devin Morgan, he has pulled away by a second already, and I do want to pull up the lap trackers. He was trying to pass the 13, so that may skew the lap time, but even trying to make a pass on the bottom of the racetrack, he was still not quite the fastest, but faster even than Alex McCullum, who is in clean real estate.
Well, he moved to the bottom to make the pass on McCollum, and he's still there up until this very corner. He was just running the bottom every single lap, and you got to wonder if that's going to have any tire effects long term, just sitting there right on the apron.
Now, I will tell you, and I can't translate it directly to the truck, but in the prior, what was it? I think March or April, we took the series here on iRacing, the top 3 series here. We had the Xfinity cars here. And I actually won a race by a long shot by hooking it right on the seam of the apron, right on the seam of the concrete to the asphalt, right on the bottom of the track. There was actually a good amount of grip there, at least in the Xfinity car. And it definitely outweighed the top. So I think if you do run it right, there may be a way to make that groove work. The problem is, with how loose these trucks are, putting that wheel in to get it to stay on the bottom may risk you spinning out.
Yeah, so these guys still fighting for position. Ryan Doucette at that 77 trying to take the 5th position away from Brandon Holder up here, and he's going to go for 4th, also trying to dive underneath the Milbacher.
Yeah, I was going to say, Milbacher starting to move up in the field, but that number 77, Doucette, is trying to beat him to the task right here. This will be, as you said, a battle for the 4th spot. This is all about 5 seconds behind the leader. I think Milbacher may just kind of throw in the white flag, throw in the towel. It seems at this point in the race, it is more about survival than it actually is, intensely fighting for these positions.
So that moves Ryan Doucette in that 77 up to the 4th position now, as we're going to go around the lap truck of Dustin Slider.
And just worth noting, because, well, I like noting these things, take a look at the hood of that machine. Although damaged, the PTR TV logo, and thank you PTR TV, and we thank you, Dustin, for helping us out, all the sharing you have done in the tenure we have had with the league to help promote the races and the channel. So, nice to see that on the Darrell Waltrip early 90s era scheme for the 15, not the run he hopes to have, but truck is at least designed quite well, if I do say so myself.
And even better, I mean, he may have been in an incident before, an obvious damage here, and he's running off the pace from the other trucks, but just the fact that he's still out there and he's still got the decal out there, he could have been like other drivers, accepted his position and left, but he's still out here running laps, and yeah, I mean, that's got to mean something to PTR TV that he's still out there.
Now, Brandon.
So, Corey.
Did you do your homework earlier? If you didn't do your homework, you can come up with something on the fly. Remember our Fame Motorsports, our Fame Design and Media, whatever you call yourself these days, our giveaway.
Oh, yes. So.
Is this on the fly, or did you actually do this?
This is on the fly. If you tweet out to us, hashtag Fame Giveaway, and tag Fame Motorsports and PTR TV, you'll be entered to win a free paint scheme. You must be following Fame Motorsports on Twitter. So at Fame Motorsports _ on Twitter. And we'll do a giveaway. 98 is going to be sideways in front of the leaders. By the way, what a save from him. Chris Canfield with a monstrous save and keeping the green flag in the air on entry to the corner there. And 32 slamming on the brakes back there. That was Brett Keith. Those guys doing an awesome job.
Yeah, all throughout the field. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're up front or not. Everybody, regardless of the position, obviously is still battling these trucks. And, I mean, guys, we do have to bring up something, and it's not something that we have happen very often at Bristol, or short tracks for that matter, and I almost don't want to say it. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. We are on, for these leaders, they've been out on the track for the better part of 65 laps. So, are we going to have green flag pit stops?
That is the question. I have no room to talk. I'm a dirt guy. Marshall?
I mean, judging from my experience just in this series at all, if the question is, are we going to see more cautions? I'm going to have to say yes. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Everybody, even with lap traffic, is running very clean. So, I mean, if they keep going the way they're going, even with some guys having damage, I think we could see green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I mean, we know every race has that vibe to it where you get to that point where you have that green flag run and it just becomes more and more unlikely that you're going to see a caution flag. And we are getting to the point in this race where it seems as such that we are going to have that happen. So, or that we already are in it for that matter. So it's going to be interesting to see. Again, we don't want to over-predict something or kind of ruin what possibly could happen, but we will indeed see, and it will definitely affect the racing on the track and the strategies. I mean, up front, it is a second separating your top two at this point. And then behind that, we go 5 seconds back to Ryan Doucette and Ryan Matthews. We go another 2 seconds back, another second back, another second back, and we right now already are only at 9 trucks on the lead lap, and that will start shrinking as we speak, as here goes another one. Here goes Wade Husted to go a lap down.
Yeah, and speaking of Wade Hustad being lapped, I mean, our leader, Devin Morgan, he's got to be the feel-good story of the race today, because, I mean, he has just been having not by his own doing, but he's been having a very unfortunate season. I mean, you talk about he was just mysteriously taken out of one race for no reason. I can count at least maybe 4 or 5 races that he's come out of with an incident in some form. So just the fact that he's running so quick and so dominant near the front of the field, it's good to see, because he's had a rough year so far.
Yes, he has, and it's just a matter of putting it all together. I mean, we can't give him the race quite yet because, well, there's still over 100 laps to go, or just now at 100 laps to go. As on the bottom of your screen, I did put that information. Tweet hashtag Fame giveaway and tag at PTRTV at Fame Motorsports for your chance to win a paint scheme designed by the one and only Brandon Krutz. And I will say, high quality work. Brandon, I think you could even maybe tell your credentials on what kind of schemes you have done for different customers in the past.
Well, a lot of real-world stuff, including NASCAR Xfinity Series, NASCAR K&N Pro Series, and a lot of local stuff also. So, and a ton more than I can count of iRacing schemes. So if you guys want an iRacing paint scheme, make sure you tweet hashtag Fame Giveaway on Twitter.
The question is, Brandon, am I eligible for this giveaway? Because it sounds pretty appetizing.
Yes, you are. Feel free.
Yes.
Again, while we are at this point in the race where things have started to settle down, we are going to step aside for a brief side-by-side and be back with you in a moment or two, and maybe for a green flag pit stop. So please stay with us.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together, just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free, both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website.
Wow, that was right in front of the leaders.
And we are back here as we cut away from the side-by-side for a very big wreck that happened, I think, off of turn number 4. We'll take a look at the replay. I think it started with the 95. Go back a little bit further and see what indeed initiated. He was with the 14 of Brad Neer, and they made contact off of 4. And it looks like the 5 of Holder, your points leader, went to the inside, got hooked hard into the fence. So that may indeed take your points leader out of any kind of competition here tonight, which is going to be huge and very beneficial if you're the number 44 truck.
Right in front of the leaders, may I just add, and awesome job to the 12 machine for being able to slow down on time.
And I think that'll be a big important skill for this race. Is sure, he's got the lead now. I mean, coming back to caution, don't speak too soon, but yeah, he's been very heads up and he's been great at avoiding traffic so far. So if he can keep that up, he'll be a definite favorite to win this race.
So we talked about it prior to the caution flag. We talked about, are we going to see green flag stops at Bristol? The race has a green flag flare, and we ruined it. So caution does come out. This will also put us in the window where they will be fine on fuel, so the only necessary pit stop will be voluntarily under a caution flag. So that will change that strategy of the race. And for anyone who was participating in our giveaway, slight boo-boo on my part, it's at PTRTV1. So you're going to want to update that.
By the way, your leader, Devin Morgan, is still sitting on pit road.
Took damage in that crash. I went back and watched it, and his front end definitely has something there. I think when, not positive the truck, I believe it's one of the 90 cars. I believe it was the 95 at Grant Brown. When he went around after making contact with Holder, I think Morgan just clipped the back end barely enough that he does have some damage.
Yeah, we're on in the pit road right now from the rear bumper of the 16 of Husted, and you can indeed see all of that damage. And again, the difficult part of Bristol is staying on the lead lap, and well, unfortunately he already is one lap down. And how things do change indeed, where the race was yours, the fastest truck, you're faster than one of the fastest drivers in iRacing, globally. And just like that, here you are with a damaged truck and multiple laps down, it's predicted to be.
And as I talked about before, just such a shame that he's had so many incidents this season. One more to his resume. It's got to be a shame for him.
So, Devin Morgan, if you end up watching this, you can blame Marshall for jinxing you.
Sorry.
Yes, indeed. So we will see what is going on at the front of the field. And I mean, this has happened a couple times, guys. Well, Marshall, I know, because obviously you've been with me for the majority of these races, where as there goes the 15, the engine on that dusted slider machine has just expired, so another one bites the dust. But We talked about it a couple times already where it seems like there's one guy that can hang with the 10, and once that guy's gone, it's hard to see if anybody else is going to be able to hang with him. So maybe the 77 has enough busted under the hood of that machine to stay with him. I guess we'll have to find out as, let's get it going for another restart, guys.
So pace car gonna pull in this time by it's off. McCullum is out. Peace out, sucker. 77 gonna fall in behind down into corner number 1. And another great jump by that 10 machine.
Did you really just say that?
Yes.
Okay, I just said to confirm my ears heard that properly. But anyways, they did. And the 51 goes around. That is Ryan Matthews. Caution again.
So going around down into corner number 3. Seems to be the trouble spot of the night, turn 3.
No, he just by himself took the car.
He was running pretty good for most of the night here too, and out of turn number 4, just
Solo
off the banking,
spin?
got loose and didn't hit anything. So let's keep going.
Rarity at Bristol to spin out and not hit anything at all. So, well, Brandon, I got a question for you.
Oh, that's never good.
If you can guess how many caution flags we've had in this race, then you can paint yourself a paint scheme.
That is an awesome reward for me, Corey. Thank you. 6.
5.
Ah, so close.
That was going to be my guess. Why didn't I win a paint scheme?
Well, I purposely did that. That way there would have to be no actual incentive offered. But anyways, 5 cautions. It does seem like more. But again, we did have that very long green flag run. I think it must have been at least 40 to 50 laps. But I think this is, as we are slightly past the halfway point, and I don't see anybody up front anyways headed to pit road. Or am I wrong on that? Oh, no. He's teasing us. He's not coming to pit road, so do a little bit of a through the field. Alex McCullum for SMS Racing leading it down. We have Ryan Doucette in second. Connor Okresic in third. Robbie Audi up to fourth. James Milbachler in 5th, Dylan Parker in 6th, John Houston in 7th, Ryan Matthews in 8th, Wayne Hustad in 9th, and the first driver 1 lap down, Devin Morgan. In 11th, we have Brad Deere, Damaris Hickenbottom in 12th, Dustin Schwingle in 13th, Doc Stout in 14th, Grant Brown in 15th, Brandon Holder in 16th, Blake Neer in 17th, Rob Slider at 18th, Chris Canfield in 19th, Dustin Slider in 20th right now. And out of the race, 21st on back, Brent Keith, Tyler King, Perry Snelson, Ryan Campbell, Doug Lemons, Gabe Wood, Chris Stewart, and Frank Morales all out of the race.
You need to catch your breath there, Corey. That was pretty impressive. My bad.
A little bit.
But yeah, as we come back here, it feels like a bit of a deja vu situation. McCullum will lead us back again now that Morgan has unfortunately been put a lap down by his incident. But you got to wonder. I mean, we've seen some good battles for the positions, maybe 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But really, besides that one pass from Morgan on McCullum, we haven't really seen a battle for the lead happen today. So we've seen about 3 straight races, Corey, where McCullum has just had, a different gear than everybody else. But you got to wonder, it's such a, questionable track like Bristol, where it's so hard to, lead an entire race on your own with lap traffic and just how difficult the track is. Maybe this could be where somebody takes over that spot from McCullum.
Yes, it is. I mean, as you said, we've seen some fast drivers in the race. It's just a matter of, now they have track position. Is it going to be enough? The 10 was, he was fast on the opening run. And then Morgan was able to get by and pull away, but nobody else was able to stay within anywhere proximity to those drivers. So maybe this restart will bring out a new driver to challenge the 10. Let's find out. Into pit road is the pace car on the loud pedal early in the zone, and Doucette 2-3 truck lengths back already heading into turn 1.
Yes, he is. So Alex McCullum, another good jump off the restart, seems to be a specialty of the night. Doucette's going to take it to the low side, try to right at around the bottom of Bristol, and he's going to get actually a fairly good run off, so he's going to do it one more time as they're battling back there for third.
Yes, they are. That's O'Krezik and Audie. Audie going to the top of the track. Remember the damage he does have to the right rear. Did get it fixed and is showing some decent speed here this evening, but not able to close it any further on the 44. We saw the 61 have some long run speed, and he is, well, he's the long run speed driver, so struggling a little bit on the shorter run as Wade Husted in the 16 trying to close it as he got loose off of 4 and down to the apron trying to recover.
Yes, indeed, on fairly new tires too. So I mean, I don't believe that was provoked. So this very tough track, especially on corner X, it's just been brutal today.
Yes, it has. These guys really struggling all around once they get more than about 2 laps on their tires. So it's been a very interesting race. These guys just having to saw at these wheels to keep these trucks going straight and fast. So you know, these guys, it's not being given to them easy. These guys really have to work for their positions here today.
Yeah, the truck is a challenge, the track is a challenge, and then, you know, add the competition on top of it, and, well, it does make an interesting evening, especially if you did not get your practice in, or maybe you didn't get as many laps in your setup, having to come into what is not really an arrive and drive style track. Definitely adds to the difficulty. I know there are some tracks in the world where you can kind of just run a lap or two and, you know, get back in the swing of it, but I would not throw Bristol quite into that category.
Caution flag in the air. Trouble in turn number 2. The 24 is around
as
down
is
on
Matthews.
the exit of the corner.
Ryan Matthews with an expired engine, so some serious damage to that machine. And
I'll tell you, about a lap prior, Corey, he had a huge save down the front straightaway, and now down really started entry of corner number 2. He went Formula Drift on us and almost had it saved before he snapped it around and
Rob Slider and Devin Morgan, very good evasive maneuvers there in 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, he did a really good job, especially where he spun to not hit a thing. And he's going to stay on the lap that he was on. I believe he's on the lead lap.
But it was Ryan Matthews, completely separate from the incident. Just got loose and right hooked it into the fence, killing the engine on the 51 machine. And guys, we are...
Tough break for him.
We are seriously hitting by the attrition card tonight. I think we're going to be... probably down to 10 trucks on the track that haven't had any kind of incident, if even that much at this point.
Yeah, it's proven tough for these guys. It really has. So it's be interesting to see what happens from here on out. You know, we're gonna come back to green with only about 65 or so laps to go.
We come back to the start again. I mean, McCollum will take us back again, and we may have only ran, I believe, maybe 8 to 10 laps under green in that stint, maybe more. But yeah, McCollum broke about about a second and a half over Connor O'Krezik for that second spot. So again, now that Morgan's out, you got to wonder: is he just gonna come down to lap traffic for his race, or you know, maybe he'll lose that speed? We saw it in the long run racing against Morgan there. And Morgan's actually up to 4th as well, so this race could get very interesting very quick.
Yep, and lights do remain on the pace car, and we do have 10 drivers on the lead lap. Devin Morgan was able to get a free pass on that caution, lucky for him to get onto the lead lap, so he is in the top 10, and we just don't know, A, is there enough laps for him to get back up there, and B, what kind of damage does he have, and is it going to hinder the speed, the engine, or just what kind of recovery is he going to be able to make? You know how fast it is. I'd expect him to maybe get up 3-4 spots even with a damaged truck, but with enough cautions, who knows if he can get himself back up there.
He was running within half a tenth of Connor O'Krezik, who was running second at the time, and that was when he was a lap down there with nobody to help him. So Devin Morgan might still have the speed to make a move late in the race.
Just a quick reminder to everybody, the hashtag fame giveaway is still going on for the next 24 hours or so. Be sure to tweet hashtag fame giveaway and tag at PTRTV1 and at Fame Motorsports on Twitter.
Do that. Get yourself the opportunity to get a paint scheme for free, provided indeed by our one and only Brandon Krutz. But pace car is in. We're going to try this restart game one more time.
Man.
What happened there? The jump by McCullum and nearly 3 wide with Millblock looking in the middle of Audi.
The 44 just did not fire on that restart, caught him sleeping, and well, the 41 is going to zip on past, and Robbie Audi is going to be left in the dust.
Yeah, Robbie Audi, he's going to fall back to, third, but he didn't get a very good run on that start. And then right behind him here we are with the 16 and the 61. That 61 definitely has some pace here tonight, but he is struggling to make that pass. But the 16 is going to try to help him out by getting into the fence there and trying to allow him to close in. But he's still going to struggle to do that at the moment.
Don't look now, but former race winner Ryan Doucette's starting to creep up there as we see the 16 hit the wall, and Millblock can't quite get by. He's going to go for it this time. Maybe not. Slots back in behind, but yeah, Doucette might be able to get in the catbird seat here and capitalize on a mistake from one of the 2 drivers ahead of him.
Also up front, Robbie Audi trying to gain back that second position from that 41 machine as he's sneaking right up to the back bumper every lap, trying to just find a way to creep around him, but it is oh so hard to pass here at Bristol.
Yes, it is. Well, the 41 running that middle groove opens the top of the racetrack for Audi. You can see the run he gets there on exit. Is the 41 going to try to block it? No, the 41 committed to kind of running that middle groove. So now here comes Audi running the middle as well. He gets that run on exit, but problem is, even running the top of the track, he's not getting enough of a run to be able to take a look or peek out on the straightaways.
May not, but he's doing his best here. I mean, that high line, it's going to work in the long run. So if Okrezik stays down there in that middle section of the track and even lower at times, he may have some issues in a few laps here, but Audi goes right to the wall this time. He might have the run here if he wants to dive low. He's going to wait, put the bumper on a little bit. Okrezik goes right into the corner.
It was just 3 wide, battling for that 4th position between the 16, the 61, and the 77. So Ryan Doucette was trying to look down low and found himself in a 3 wide situation, and somehow they all make it out of there clean.
Audi was in the wall just ahead of this, but that is a live battle for the 4th spot. Husted and Millbachler, they are duking at it off of corner number 4. Doucette trying to close back in, and you can see just the nature of Bristol trying to get the run to the inside, and it is not as easy of a task as you'd hope it to be. And look at the 61 with a mega drift. He does hang on to it.
We got a car around on the front stretch also, manages to keep it going, and we stay green.
Yeah, Damaris Hickenbottom, the 2 car, I believe, is the car in question. But yeah, what a save by Millblock there. Managed to keep it on the track, and he may be able to chase down the 2 ahead of him.
Now I want to bring up our lap graphic because I do want to bring up the 9 truck and where he is in relation to your fast guys right now. Remember how dominant he was earlier in the race, and he does have a little bit of traffic in front of him, mind you. Your leader was at a 15 888 and a 16 flat, so the question is it the damage? Is it the traffic? I'm more inclined to think it's going to be the damage, and while he's not radically off the pace, he doesn't have, obviously, what he had the first 100 or so laps.
By the way, the 5 of Brandon Holder, your points leader with Glovebox Racing, has just blown a motor. He is going to be done for the night.
Tried his best as
Caution
we have
flag.
Doc Stout. And is that an engine or is that just dark smoke? Couldn't quite tell, but regardless of such, it is another caution flag here at Bristol.
He hit that wall pretty hard head on there, so can't imagine that truck's going to be running right after that. So it does look like he is going to have motor issues on that 62 machine.
And an example of another driver just by themselves on corner exit, just losing it, coming back onto the straightaway. And I mean, we've seen it from a few guys tonight now. You got to wonder if one of our front runners is going to fall victim to that same thing. We come back to pit stops for our top drivers tonight. Makeeng in the pits. We see John Houston will stay out, possibly come in this lap. Robbie Oddie, Connor O'Kresick in the pits. Wayne Hustad, Devin Morgan is now in. Maybe fix more of his damage there. But yeah, as we group the field up again, we just talked about him, guys, but Devin Morgan showing some more and more speed. Maybe this is his chance to make a move and move up the field, maybe even into the top 3 or second or maybe first.
I'd have to imagine that the 42 would pit. I mean, because I'm not sure if he is on the back straightaway pit, so I think we did have enough trucks registered for the race that it would open up the back straightaway pits to get his 21 trucks to the front stretch, but it does appear that, at least for the moment, your 42 is, he passed the front straightaway pits, he passed the back straightaway pits, so maybe trying something here in the closing stages of the races. We are under 50 laps to go.
I mean, if he stays out, it would be exciting to see a new leader, see what he can do trying to take a start here. But yeah, if this is a strategy call, I mean, it's bold. I'll give him that. And at this point, you know, so many guys out of the race in terms of, as we talked about a lot today, attrition. But I mean, hey, if you think it's going to work, worst case scenario, maybe you go a lap down or two on green flag pit stops. But if you're going for the win somehow, I mean, hey, more power to you, John Houston.
I mean, we know that there are tracks out there where track position is just vital. I mean, just doing a truck race at Pocono last night, track position absolutely vital there. And the Monster Energy Cut machines, track position on 80 mile and a half, absolutely vital. Sometimes it does overcome older tires, sometimes it does overcome slightly off on the handling, just having the clean air. And well, I know Bristol being hard to pass on, I think the 10 is going to get by the 2, but as long as at the end of the day, if you end the run higher than you would have been if you did the traditional strategy, then it's ultimately a net gain. So I don't remember, I think he was running at the tail end of the top 10, so if he is anywhere higher than that when perhaps the next caution comes out, then, well, it's a net gain for the 42, but we'll see if it indeed works like that.
And yeah, John Houston, who did not pit, will start on older tires, and he's going to have to go up against the restart specialist himself, Alex Makeeng, sitting there on the outside. So we'll see what Makeeng can do, but more importantly, when's Houston going to go right after that pace car dives in? And speaking of which, he's about to make that hard left turn off the track. Makeeng is ready.
Huge stack up.
Wow. Houston did not get going. Now he's going green flag, but Makeeng, a huge run on the outside, maybe able to get him clean in this corner. Houston.
Oh, come on!
Big wreck!
No!
Big wreck down out of corner number 2.
Wow.
I hate to say it, but I had a gut feeling that was not going to work.
I mean, I assumed he was just going to check up hard, but he just went flat out into it.
Well, came to I mean, kind of creeped him down to the restart, and then the 10 was on the outside, and I mean, he just didn't really give. I'm not sure if he just was, I'm not sure, but he did not give the 10 the room he needed up at the top of the track, and obviously, we can see how that ended.
Not swell.
Yeah, so I did, as a league owner here of DRS and out of the race, I did want to give league owner Dustin Slater the opportunity to say anything that he would want to about his league or the race tonight or his run. So let's bring him on into the booth. Dustin, you got us, brother?
Yeah, I got you. What's going on, Corey?
All right, so I just wanted to talk to you briefly. I know obviously you're out of the race, but you do a lot with the league, and I know obviously we like the logo on your truck. So all in all, how was your night behind the wheel, and what's been your thought of the season and, well, the race that we are in tonight quickly?
Oh man, it's been a struggle. We've had our highs, we've had our lows. Our highs ain't been real high. I've got a whole lot better expectations, but I think things are coming along. Want to wish you guys at PTR TV the best in your future endeavors.
We do appreciate that, man. And again, we saw the issues they had today. But what are your thoughts here on the race? Obviously, Bristol being a difficult track, a lot of loose trucks out there here tonight. What were you seeing on the track, and maybe what are you seeing here from the administrator perspective?
It's from the admin's perspective, it's pretty. The admins are on top of a lot of things here. In defense of what's going on here, I mean, we saw similar to Iowa. The trucks are just on the raggedy edge. There's no forgiveness here. There's no overcorrecting, or you're gonna end up in the wall. So, the long green flag was a plus. I'm sick of the yellows after yellows, though. I think these guys, they've got too much talent to have this out here.
Yeah, definitely not what anybody wants to see, but indeed it is going to be what it's going to be. And obviously we won't be around to cover you guys for the rest of the season, but we do wish you guys the best in the remainder of your league. And anything you want to tell the fans, or how to stay in touch with the league, or how to join the league, or anything on those lines?
Yeah, if they just want to go to drsproseries.com, or they can find us on Dreamer Racing Series Facebook page. Just look it up. We're gonna have some other series going on here to there. We started as a week-to-week series, but there's definitely gonna be a vetting process and a purge at the end of the season. So we're gonna get it figured out, and want to thank Barbara Ford for staying on board. Modes Auto Exchange. Obviously, I can't say obviously, but I work fairly closely with GBR, Express Motorsports, or DRS Express, Doug Levins, Brent Keith, Doc Stout, Devin Morgan, Ryan Matthews. I can keep the list going here. Brandon Holder. All these guys just been a fantastic asset as far as teaching me how to drive these trucks and helping me run this series.
All right, brother. Thanks for that. But we are going back to green, so we'll let you go and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Corey. You take care.
All right, so that was league owner Dustin Slater. As we head back to green flag racing, 44 in command, Robbie Audi, Alex McCullum to the outside, green flag back in the air.
Robbie Audi gets the jump out front, now going down through corner number 2 down the back straightaway. McCullum's got company from underneath. Here comes the 41 down low.
41, Connor O'Kresick tried to take a look under Alex McCullum. This move was not going to come to fruition right there, but here comes the 10 to the inside of the 44. We know how quick the 10 is on the short haul, but does Audi have the track position to blade defense for 35 to 37 more laps? That is going to be a tough call indeed, but he's going to give it his all to try for it.
Yes, he is. The 44 machine out front, trying to hang out front now. He's got some major company from that 10 machine just trying to hang on. Now McCullum tries to look underneath. Will he get there? Audi gets loose up on the high side. Now they're going to be side by side. The 10 has the run.
The 10 has the run. The 44 has the track position to the outside of the track, but he has a position into the wall, but it didn't wind his momentum down too much, so he's still going to have the space he needs on the top of the track. And what is this doing? It's bringing some guys into the back of the pack, and it's also, guys, going to be hurting the tires on that 10, trying to wheel the bottom lap after lap.
Yes, it is, and once again, Robbie Audi leads that lap, and these guys are going to stay side by side.
Into the fences, the 44 again.
Wheeling and dealing here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and the guys behind them are loving this, trying to catch back up to them.
Now, guys, as a driver, is this fun or is this aggravating?
Depends which driver you are.
I'd have to imagine for the 44, it's fun because you're kind of playing with house money knowing the 10's faster. But if you're the 10, let me the bleep by, and look at, he's trying to squeeze it in there still as the 44.
Wow, that was almost disastrous there for both of those guys, but Audi manages to make it work, and he's going to hang out on the outside.
He's in Tom Petty mode as the 44. He won't back down. He's to the top of the track, and look at Connor O'Kresick closing in. It's going to be a 4-car battle for the lead if the 10 can't clear it. He's going to try, still can't. Side by side once more.
Now, Corey, remember the bumper. Get Audi my way. I think he's still trying it. He's just sitting on the outside making moves. He's going to clear him again. If he dives down, he may have the position clean.
Not quite going to be able to do it. These guys are going to stay side by side now, heading down on corner exits where it gets real tricky, but heading down into corner number 3, they're reeling these guys back in from behind, and this may end up being a 4-truck battle, but they've started battling behind them also.
There's gonna be a point in this where the 44 is either gonna hit the wall and lose it. Well, there it is. End of drama. I didn't get to finish my sentence.
I think McCollum got a little bit sick of that. He shut the door real quick on that 44 machine, so now this is where the 10 is able to just drive the way he knows how to drive, and this is where he's been pulling away lap after lap.
I was just about to say there's going to be a point where either the 44 is going to cost himself the lead, or the 10's tires are going to heat up so much from being on the bottom that they would kind of equilibrate a little bit, and he'd probably have to fall back in line. But obviously we saw that the 44 took the advice to hit the wall right away and put himself in that position, but he's not going to be catching the 10. It doesn't appear as such. He's going to have to hang on for dear life even for that second spot, as we have Doucette and Krutz hanging in there just behind him.
Corey, you brought up a good point a few laps ago that McCollum sitting at the bottom that long in the battle with Audi, that's going to wear his tires out hard. And I mean, he's not breaking away at an extreme pace from Audi, who I thought was running a little bit slower and was only quick because of the battle. But if Krutz can get by him, who's been running on the outside, and maybe make a move for first, those tires could cost McCollum the win.
Yeah, again, as we're under 25 laps to go, we'll bring up our battle tracker, and the 10 fastest lap by only a couple thousandths over, indeed, the 41 of Krutz. And I remember the 41 running the bottom of the track, sacrificing his exits and still managing to have speed in the process. So it makes you think if that 41 was able to get into clean real estate, what he could do with that position. But I just do not think Audi is going to... We saw what Audi did for the lead. Obviously, he is not going to not back down. Or love how I come up with a good adage, Tom Petty mode. He won't back down. I come up with that on the last broadcast, of course. But again, Audi's not going to back down, and he's going to fight for that spot. And past couple laps, that gap has pulled away from about a half second to McCollum, now all the way to 3/4 of a second.
And yeah, by the way, Rabiati still has plenty of company behind him from Krutz and Doucette back there. Also, as Doucette's going to dive it down low, trying to look for that third position. He's got a lap truck in front of him. He's going to have to go high contact. Around goes the 41.
Krutz around hard into the inside fence, and so far, no caution flag.
That's going to do it right there. Caution flag is in the air. He had to turn around eventually. The 41 goes around, and unfortunately, it was a tough situation, and the 77 went up high trying to get around the lap traffic, and it didn't work because, well, Krutz was already there.
Yeah, he just moved up the track, and, I mean, kind of hard to really put fault on. It's just bad luck with the draw positioning right there, and it was a pretty decent lick into the wall for the 41, so that will take him out of it. But it's going to put us in a situation, guys, where we are going to have a very short run to the checkers. And 77, did I see him stay out?
Yes, you did, and I'm excited. It just worked for Rabiati. He got like 10 laps on his run, staying in, in that side-by-side battle. Ryan Doucette probably looked at that and thought, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. I'm going to go for the win here and stay out. And yeah, he'll lead us to the start as long as he stays out on track.
We still will have to see what the call from race control is for cause of caution also. So,
remember as well, we go back right now, as I'll pull up the stint chart to the right of your screen. Ryan Doucette, 34 lap old tires. We saw what happened with John Houston staying out. I believe it was 20 or so lap old tires. We saw how well that worked. Well being the operative term there. So now we have older tires on the 77. The only difference really being 77 has had more pace tonight. So...
Guys.
Oh, whoa. Drama goes away.
McCollum got a pit penalty. That's why he's moving back.
And the 77 pits. So
one drama goes away and another one starts. McCollum got a pit penalty.
He dove really late onto the apron. He missed the commitment cone for the pit lane, and yeah, he's moving to the back of the line.
So this is going to put Robbie Audie into the lead. Dylan Parker into second. Have we said his name more than once today? I don't think so.
So, and also, just to add, the reason Doucette decided to pit, he got a penalty for causing that wreck with the contact, so he's being put to the back of the field also.
Again, our top 5 is going to be Robbie Audie, Dylan Dylan L. Parker, that too, Wade Husted, James Milbachler, and Connor O'Kresick. Remember, he was just the one that took the hard hit into the inside fence, but by circumstance, he's in the top 5 still.
Well, I mean, Alex McCollum has been very quick all day, but he's going to have to earn a win if he wants one now. Robbie Audie, who started the last caution, he'll start it again, and McCollum's got to make up a full 6 positions if he wants his lead back, so maybe Dylan Parker is going to be able to challenge. Like you said, I haven't talked about him all day, but I'll throw possibly the last restart ever on PTR TV back to Brandon.
So Robbie Audie going to lead these guys to the green. Pace car is in with just over 10 to go. Green flag is back in the air, and they're making serious contact off the restart for third.
Milbachler to the wall. The 24 didn't get going. Stacked up the outside group. 16 of Houston is going to go to the inside of the 24. They're going to want to clear him as quickly as possible. The 61 to the back of the 41. Here comes McCollum. He's going to look 3 wide, is he? He's going to get into the back of the 16. That's going to back up his momentum through 1 and 2.
Look out, trying to go for a gap that isn't quite there. Alex McCollum is, and he's going to try to drift up to the high side, and there he goes, trying to look for any little gap that there is. Now he's going to be looking to the outside of the 61 machine.
Now he's a second and a half back. Is there going to be some contact with the 61? 61's going to go on the fence, and we may have a spin on the back straightaway. 77 into the 61.
Look out!
61 is a pinball now, but he manages to hang on to it.
Unbelievable. He managed to hang on to it. Everybody keeps it straight. Now Alex McCollum is searching up to the back bumper for that third position. He's going to try to work his way around the 24 and then around the 41.
This is going to be a great finish.
Caution!
Right as I say it, wow.
The 77 goes around, and that one had some serious help from the 12 machine.
Now, just to know, green-white checkers are not activated in the series, so this race will end under regulation. We are still close enough. Oh my God, that was quite the shot to the back bumper. The 77, the 61 puts the T-bone steak on the grill to finish the 77 off.
Yeah, I would almost say that looked intentional, but of course I was not driving the race car, so I don't know. That was interesting.
But again, to bring back my point, green-white checkers, while they are in iRacing, they have not been implemented in the rule book for the series yet. So if iRacing will end the race under caution, that is the circumstance we will have. But we have enough laps to get this going natively, so we should still have...
They're going at it in the pits, Corey.
2 laps.
But by the way, the 16 and the 12 were going at it pretty heavy in the pits there also, so not sure what was going on with that, but they were going after each other.
To quote Bobby, who was it on the back straightaway at Daytona in the 70s? And there's a fight! Bobby Allison, oh my God, who else was it? Cale Yarborough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Out of all the things you remember, Corey, you can't remember that?
Well, you see how my brain works, is it remembers useless stuff and forgets pertinent stuff. So
this is very true, very true.
It's being relationship troubles from time to time as well, but I mean, that's just part of being a man, if I do say so myself.
Well, as we go back for what will be our final start of the race, I mean, this is going to be an insane finish. We saw the battle between Audie and McCollum earlier. We're going to go back with I think probably 2 laps of green flag racing at Bristol. So a 30-second dash to the finish, led by a guy who's been a little bit slower than McCollum all day, and McCollum, who has won all of the last 3 races. This is going to be insane, and we're going to see how desperate McCollum's going to get to make that move on Audi for the win.
And right now it's 5 to go, so it'll be 3 to go when we do get the greens. And remember, green-white checkers not activated, so if a caution comes out between the green flag and the white flag, the race will be over. If we do take the white flag under green flag conditions, and no, it does not matter how much carnage happens on that last half mile, we will race back to the checkers. So with that 10 behind the 44, and with how much of a battle that 44 put on the 10, as you said, Marshall, will be very interesting. But kind of the wild card we're not talking about is the 41. I mean, he's going to be in the unadvisable position on the outside for the restart, but I mean, at this point in the race, you know he's going to be on it as much as he can, and anything could happen.
Yes, indeed, Corey. Are only on the top 3 that does not have a race win this season. Maybe he's just as desperate as McCollum is. He's going to do anything he can to get that win, and this is going to be an insane 3-lap dash.
I mentioned the 16 and the 12 going at it on pit road. Just as a heads up, the 16 was disqualified from the race for that incident. But coming to the official last restart here for tonight and in PCR TV history, green flag is in the air.
41 was on it. We talked about it right there. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to have the line, and he's going to be in the position to battle the 44 who got loose.
Going down.
They're both loose. McCollum, contact.
Saves it. He's going to end up back in third, and he's going to have company from behind now. Heading down out of the corner now. McCollum's going to try to get there to the lead. Going down into corner number 3. They're coming back to the white flag this time by.
Next flag is going to end the race. The 41 going for his first win. Alex McCollum going for his 4th. We're going to come into turn number 3 and 4, and we're going to settle it here on Bristol Motor Speedway. Into 3. McCollum's going to cut it to the inside. Is he going to have the momentum? He is not. In a thrilling finish, O'Kresick will take the victory.
Connor O'Kresick in the 41 machine takes the victory for his first ever series win in DRS. He does it on the high banks of Bristol. The 41 goes to victory lane.
It may have been a caution-ridden race, guys, but I think as our final send-out, they put on a pretty good finish for us here tonight.
Yes, they did indeed. Man, what better way to end it than first time win? O'Kresick's going to do his donuts, and what a performance by him.
What a finish to that race.
Yes, indeed it is. So let's wind down the coverage here tonight and start by giving you the final results here tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway. In a thrilling finish to take the victory here tonight is Connor O'Kresick in the 41. He only led 3 laps, and they were the final 3. Alex McCullough, he nearly recovered from that penalty, but couldn't quite get him. Settles for the second. Robbie Audi, who was just loosey-goosey on that last start, drops back to the 3rd spot. Dylan Parker in 4th. Brad Neer in 5th. Then we have Devin Morgan in 6th. Damaris Hickenbottom in 7th. Ryan Doucette in 8th. Dustin Schwingle in 9th. And Wade Husted in the 10th spot.
James Melbachler finishing 11th. 12th was Ryan Matthews. John Houston finishing 13th. Doc Stout finished 14th. Finishing 15th was Rob Slider. Brandon Holder finishing 16th. Tough break for your points leader. Finishing in 17th was Grant Brown. Tyler King finishing 18th. 19th was Blake Neer and Brent Keith rounding out the top 20. Marshall?
Finishing in the 21st position. An unfortunate race today for Glovebox Racing. Our championship leader, a driver Ryan Campbell. And 22nd, we got Chris Canfield, Dustin Slider, we talked to earlier. Thanks again for the decal. We got in 23rd, Perry Snelson, finishing in 24th, Doug Lemons in 25th. Gabe Wood had a great save last week, but not again today. An incident put him out in 26th. And Chris Stewart and Frank Morales rounding out the field did not start today's race.
All right, so that is your final rundown, and for the final time, we are going to go ahead and give you the post-race show, guys. I already got the first 2 guys set up in the booth with us. I'm trying to see if Robbie Audi is here. Struggling to find him in the press box right here. Perhaps I'm missing him or he's there. But regardless of such, let's start with the post-race show, and we'll start with the second place finisher thus far. I think, Marshall, you've caught up with Alex McCullum.
Hey, Alex, PTR TV, you got me?
Sure.
I mean, crazy finish to that race there. I mean that was truly exciting there. But man, just run us through that finish there. Those last 3 laps coming off the caution.
I figured when they were the way he was laying back or like on the pace car, I knew they were gonna go on pace car, so I timed that. But I had to be careful how hard and easy I had to drive it in because of how loose my truck was. But P2, I can't complain at all with the setup I had.
No, you can't for sure. I mean, it may not be your 4th straight win of the season, but man, 2nd place points in the championship, you can't complain with that. Yeah, we noticed you moved back in the field because of a penalty there. Just what happened exactly? We weren't really sure here on the broadcast.
On my screen, the pace car like absolutely disappeared, and as soon as that disappeared, pit lane was open, and I was already past the orange cone. So as soon as I entered, I got a penalty because I knew where the pace car was.
Yeah, it's a real shame, man. I mean, yeah, you were having such a solid day. You and Audie had the battle there, and then for a long time, you and Devin Morgan were going at it. But just Bristol Motor Speedway, it's chaotic. Like, what do you think was the toughest element? Was it the banking? Was it all the lap traffic? Just what do you think you had trouble with tonight?
Oh, lap traffic was actually fine tonight. It was the weight. I mean, I love Bristol. I just missed the setup just a little on long run, but I was going for like a top 5. But I'll take a P2 for sure with those C's I'm going with.
Yeah, I mean, always best to P2. Can't complain with that. Is there anybody you want to give a quick shout out to, or for today?
You guys for broadcasting for sure, putting good broadcasts out there, and Kirkwood Transportation and DRS for the event.
Yeah, man, last broadcast today for PTR TV, and really there's no race I would have rather ended it on. So thanks, Alex. Great race today.
Yep, thank you.
And Brandon has caught up with your winner here tonight, Connor. What we believe, we've never actually got confirmation, we believe Connor Okrezik is how you say his last name.
I just verified with him, and yes, that is it.
Yeah, Marshall, you got that. You got
now.
that.
Connor Okrezik wins at Bristol. First ever time in this series. How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good, man. I started this series late. I was helping out. I was doing the setups for all of Robbie Audie's stuff, and we finished 3rd tonight. I was doing the setups for all those guys, and they bought me a spot, met Michigan or something. I had a couple bad runs. Finally got a win here. Feels really good.
I'll tell you, they did not make it easy for you there at the end. You had Alex McCullum back there, right on your back bumper, trying to hound you down. Tell us about those last few laps there.
Oh, it was crazy. I got by Robbie. He got sideways off in the corner. I got sideways. Both of us got sideways at the same time, but he was just a little bit more out there. Finally got around him and had to hold off Alex. I knew that if I could hold the top, I didn't think he was going to get around me unless he dumped me. And I'm thankful that he didn't do that because he had a very good shot at it.
Tell us about your race overall. What were some challenges? Obviously, these trucks were pretty loose out there. Tell us about some of your challenges through this race and what led you to that win, all in all.
Oh man, there were a bunch of challenges. About 15 minutes before the race started, I completely went through this setup for all of our guys and completely redid it, and it seemed to work better in the end. And this truck, most of the guys were on ice. We had it just tight enough where we were a really good long run. It was us and Devin Morgan. We were the best trucks long run. But short run, we didn't quite have the speed, so I made a couple adjustments at the end. I accidentally talked over all teams instead of team chat. You might have heard that. Just put a little bit of tape on it, air pressure adjustment, just to try to help it short run, and I got it just fast enough to win.
So, awesome win on the night here. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank and shout out to?
And I'd like to thank Chris Lewis. He's a team owner. He put all this together so he could go win. So, I mean, thanks to all the guys. Robbie Audie for not wrecking me when he got sideways, and then just all the guys on Star TI Racing.
Well, once again, awesome win on the night. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Connor O'Kresick.
And Connor, I think Dustin can see your scheme, just so you know.
Oh yeah, he could see it.
All right.
Thanks for talking to us, Connor.
Yeah, that was a heck of a throwback scheme I put together.
All right, so that is your post-race show, and, well, a little sad as it is the final time here tonight on PTR TV. Of course, we want to give a shout-out to everybody who has had a part in the channel. Obviously, Brandon, back in early 2017, late 2016, getting it started, and I come on board and had it rolling for a while. Our buddy Evan Black came on board. Joe Chris, Brandon, I know Joe Chris is on the other channel. Does he want to say hi real quick? I know he's going to say no, but I want to offer it.
He said he'll do it.
Joe Chris, who is he was Silent Joe for the longest time, helping us behind the scenes, has never said a word. He was the Wilson from Home Improvement, but Joe, we want to thank you for what you did behind the scenes, and, well, the moment's yours.
My pleasure, and thank you guys. Without you guys, this wouldn't have happened, and I'm glad to have played a part in it, and much success in the future.
Yes, as we do go different directions with the channel. We had Michael DeGroat, Cole Borgstad, obviously recently, Marshall Crocker joining the crew. We've had help from Kyle and Finian from Sim TV, LSR TV with Francisco Scaramuza and Evan Pasoko, iRacing with Drew Adamson, Charles Wooten has helped us with overlays, Rudy from Backspeed TV helped us in the past, the ATVO, I mean, countless people to thank for the nearly 3-year ride we had here on the channel, and I know, Brandon, you have some things you want to add to it as well.
Yeah, and, you know, I just wanted to thank everybody. I founded PTR TV about 3 years ago now, and what a road it's been on. From everybody, Vintage Racing Group was the original group that got me started here, and it was just supposed to be for them, and I brought Corey on, and everything kind of took off from there. Now, nearly 650 subscribers later, we're where we are now, and unfortunately shutting doors, but just wanted to thank everybody, all the staff here, everybody that's helped us out. You know, huge shout out to Corey here for stepping in and taking over operations, and yeah, this is a sad moment for me.
Yeah, I mean, we started as a small channel, and maybe we didn't have the subscriber count that we wanted and the viewership we did want, but we got the ultimate prize. We got the certification to be on the iRacing Esports Network, which, even though we only had 2 broadcasts on it, that wasn't because iRacing said no. That was because, well, it was just decisions in the moment of what we had to do personally. So, again, a very successful tenure on the channel, and I know Marshall, as a new person to the channel and to the business, I know Brandon as well, you guys will be staying in the community, so where will you guys be commentating in the future at the very least?
Well, if everything works out for me, I'll be over with our friends at Sim TV and see where the future brings me from there.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely be around the landscape. The hopes are that maybe send out a call to Turn 3 Racing Network or something, and just, you know, see who wants me, because whether it's here at PTR TV or wherever, I've enjoyed the process so much, and there's no way I'd rather spend my nights than broadcasting races like this.
All right, so we will have a Racer's Mind broadcast, I think on Monday, to kind of give some final Q&A onto the topic and shed lights on what our futures will be, but we do have a short video to kind of wind up some highlights with the channel to kind of say goodbye. So again, thanks to everybody who's had a part in the channel, all the fans, all the leagues, iRacing itself. Have a great night, and, well, I can't say the next line because we aren't going to catch you next time.
And after 3 years of being with you guys, have a great night, and hopefully one of us will catch you sometime in the future with our future endeavors.
And a final thank you for watching all these years.
Kilinowski gonna be taking this thing back to the green flag. 1 lap to go. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Kilinowski gets the jump on the start. Cross gonna be up high. Oh boy, heading down on a corner number 2. Now down the back straightaway. Gonna be side by side for the lead. Heading down on a turn 4. It's gonna be contact. Contact is made. Bedford's gonna come away with the win. Yes, Bedford.
Watch out.
got the apron.
Here he comes. This is going to be a fantastic finish. He dives to the inside. He's going to send it. They're side by side. Slide jump. Slide jump. Here he comes with the crossover. Fellowson to the inside. Is it going to be a Las Vegas photo finish? They touch. They wreck. Who's going to get it? Upside down. Who's going to get it?
Fellowson gets it.
So these guys, once again, doubled up, stacked up, and ready to go back. Green flag racing here behind me. iRacing.com, Facebook page.
Don't know where that came from, but we'll let it slide. From there to the 20 to get himself contact.
He's turned them.
Let's keep it straight because they're going to lose the spot.
Or are they? They're going to merge back in the track. They held the lead. Bressy wiggling, jiggling, all sorts of squiggling. How do you like that? I'm keeping that one. Yazik still hooking to the inside of Veltman with the 44 of Harnish to the outside for the second spot. They're 3 by 3 by 3. This is nuts.
It's lap 18, guys. Calm down. You still got 80 laps.
There's still 3
wide and 3 and 4.